I love rock music. It's my genre. I will always be a rock girly to my core.
Welcome to Expired Optimism, where real conversations meet real people. My name's Tony, and I'm welcomed by Blank Era, new metal from Nashville, Tennessee. What's going on?
Hi, thank you for chatting with me today. I'm so freaking stoked to be here.
No problem. Thanks for joining.
Hell
So,
yeah.
so tell me about yourself.
Oh, just a socially awkward girl from Jersey that moved to North Carolina, started playing music, and then eventually transplanted myself to Nashville. So, yeehaw, here I am.
So Jersey girl.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, I was obsessed with the Jersey music scene, especially the underground emo pop punk music scene. You had bands like Thursday, Midtown, even bands that were like somewhat in the vicinity. Like you had the Starting Line. I think they're from Pennsylvania, but like the whole Northeast region of like music is so freaking cool.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
really lucky that we get to claim My Chemical Romance as one of our own. I was like, they're from Newark. That's like an hour from me. Hometown
y-
homies.
yeah, hot take about My Chemical Romance. One of my favorite bands. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but kind of a cash grab band right now. I mean, go get that bag. Go get that bag.
100%, 100%.
But
Steer into the nostalgia. I think all of us as fans, I don't even care. I'm just
but
happy to see it.
but Tony's not paying $300 for upper stadium tickets.
Oh no,
Just not
absolutely
doing it.
not. I will
Yeah.
absolutely live vicariously through somebody's grainy TikTok live stream and
Oh,
be stoked.
absolutely. Like my son found out that Pierce the Veil, which is one of his favorite bands, is playing with My Chemical Romance at what's the stadium? I think Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. They're playing with My Chemical Romance in Nashville. He's like, "Can we go? Can we go? Can we go?" I'm like, "First it's a school night. Not
So
going. I'm not going to drive. I'm not going to drive 8 hours to Nashville. Spend close to $1,000 just on the tickets alone.
yeah.
Nah, yeah.
No, my bank
Tony's
account
not
won't
doing that.
allow for that at all.
So let me ask you this. So you go as Blank Air. How did that come about?
So I knew when I was starting something new that I wanted the name to kind of reference like new beginnings, clean slate, something. And I had, because I'm like chronically online, all the like cute girls were like, I'm in my villain era, I'm in my healing era, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I really want to do a play on that. So in my notes app, I had blank era, and the intention was to find a word to slot in. And I went through a ton of them, but nothing felt like something I was willing to commit to full term or long term. And so eventually I was like, maybe blank is just the word that I'm looking for, because not only does it kind of signify like a blank page, but also I really resonated with the idea that you could kind of change it up and like embrace change and not allow yourself to just ever be stuck doing one thing. So I just committed to it, and boom, here we are.
Absolutely. I love that because certain bands will go in a certain direction when they start. And
Yeah.
then as they get older, I mean, especially like the bands that I grew up listening to, for instance, A Day to Remember. I mean, they were like a metalcore band when they started. And then like now they're more of a rock band. And, A Day to Remember goes well with that, with the change of music.
Mhm.
But if you're called something random like a ghost out of a baseball field and playing like Midwest emo, and then now years later you're like, okay, we're gonna play some folk country. It's like we can't really use that name. So I feel like Blank Era is like an umbrella
Yep.
over different genres that you're not necessarily like anchored to.
Yeah. I
So
think
I
that
love
we're
that.
just as people that we are always growing and evolving and changing. And I think that like we kind of get stuck because we feel locked into, our comfort zones. So I really wanted to allow myself in this project to, kind of embrace change instead of fearing it, and, just kind of shifting in and out of whatever feels right in the moment. So if I want to do like a new metal song, right on. But if I want to like flip it up, do something different, then we can do that too. Who cares? It's music. It's supposed to be fun.
So what era is blank in right now in the year 2026? Because
Ooh,
I've been following your music for a little over a year and a half, ever since I think Rotted came out in what,
yeah.
2024?
Yep. End of
And like,
2024.
you know, the growth from that music to what you're putting out now, like I do feel like there is a lot of growth. But so what era is blank in right now?
I think I'm just in my authentic era. Like, I'm just really saying, focused on things that make me happy, saying yes to the things that feel good, saying no to the things that don't, and not really letting expectations of what people think I should be doing speak for me, you know? So, like, the last couple of songs that we put out have all been really heavy. So people think that everything that I'm putting out is going to be heavy. And I'm like, well, you know, it's summer, and sometimes heavy just doesn't match like the windows down, driving around vibe. And that's what I want to curate right now. So I think that that's what I'm doing is just kind of whatever feels good and, you know, caring about how I feel about things and less about what other people think of things, which is so hard for me as a total people pleaser, but we're letting go of that. We're done.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, like it's your artwork. So
Yeah.
like you should be able to express how you feel and how you want to express it.
Yeah.
Um, but I will agree with you that the music that you have been putting out lately, especially yesterday's,
Mhm.
is so freaking heavy. Like the drum track on that song is so freaking hard.
It
And
does make me want to run through a wall. And I was really
oh,
stoked about that riff.
absolutely. So I started checking out your music right out, like I said, right after you came out with Rotted, and there was a lot of like mental health undertones, escaping conflict. So tell me the writing process from the start, because actually that wasn't your first, right? I don't think so.
It was. Routed was the first thing that I set out to do. And like I said, it was just me. I didn't have bandmates or anything because I was just really kind of wanting to go into a writing process just for me. Just I was going through a period where I didn't even know if I wanted to keep making music because I was so burnt out and putting all of my self worth into analytics and making sure that everybody else around me was okay and not taking care of myself. So, Rotted was kind of like in real time processing all of the frustration and grief and loss of identity. So, I didn't even have a plan. I just went into the studio every day and wrote something that I was feeling at the moment and just let it be that. I didn't try to go in and like really mess with it because I wanted it to sound really raw and ugly and as real as possible. So not like, oh, what if I sang this better? Oh, what if I wrote that a little bit better? What if this transition felt smoother? None of that mattered to me. I really wanted to just be like a venting session and like a catharsis of all of the like weird emotions that you go through when you're grieving. So it was dark. It was a dark time.
Yeah, so for anyone that listens to Rotted, you have to listen to it from start to finish.
Yeah.
It's a great album. I will say this, one of the most brutal tracks on the entire album is Didn't Expect That. That is like that track right there is like the biggest F you to like
Yeah.
anybody. Like if anybody sends you Didn't Expect That, you fucked up with
Messed
them.
up. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
fucked
that
up
song was
bad.
all about like the delusional confidence that sometimes you'll find yourself in when it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and you're just like ruminating on all of these things and just being like, you know what? F this person, screw them. Come at me, bro. Like all of that kind of stuff. And I just turned it into a song because I thought it would be fun. And I've never done a song like that. I always take stuff like in my past writing music. I always like took myself so seriously. And I'm like, I'm such like a goofy, dorky person anyway, and I wanted to find a way to like incorporate some of that into a song and kind of showcase that side of my personality. And I had the most fun doing that song. Of all the other ones, it was like really heavy and like, you know, a dark place, but that one was just pure fun and came out of nowhere. So
Yeah,
love that track.
that song reminds me of like a lot of AOL away messages that are directed to one specific person. It's like you know 7 days worth of away messages directed to like this individual, and you know what, we're going to take all 7 days worth of away messages and we're going to put this in a banger of a song.
Very
But
much that.
you are right about how you are such a goofy person when it comes, because this is actually the first time I'm actually talking to you face to face.
Yeah.
All I really know about you is what you post on social media, and the way that you promote your music is not isn't really like, here, listen to the music. You always have like this whole like, you know, I'm having an effed up day today, and like, I think everybody should check out my song, and it's like, or like you'll like say something, and I'm not mean this in any kind of disrespect, but like you'll just it's just something playfully goofy,
Yeah.
and then it's like, here's yesterday's. It's like, raw.
I like the balance of that because, like, I mean, as a person, I really do struggle with a lot of mental health issues. It's not always, sunshine and rainbows over here. Honestly, most days it's not. But when I am having those days, it doesn't do me any good to just sit there and wallow in it. And I know that it's also not a unique experience to wake up and hate yourself. So I try to like find a way to like bring some light to it and hopefully help somebody else that's kind of going through a similar thing by bringing some, goofiness to it and making light of it. And just, it sucks to feel like shit. So if you can like do a little something to just bring a little whimsy into your day, why not?
Hey, look, I battle with mental health just like the next person does. And
Mm-hmm.
with May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I do believe that music, cathartic music, can be good for, people that are struggling, because, a lot of people don't really have the means to get help for their mental
Absolutely.
health. So if like listening to a song, watching a movie, watching anything can help them process, do you believe that music actually helps people heal?
I definitely do. I know that it does for me. And if it does for me, then again, it's not a unique experience. That means there's tons of other people that feel the same way. I mean, there are songs about situations that I've gone through that I feel like I never need to write a song about it because this person wrote it for me, essentially. And I'm like, well, I can't say it any better than that. I'm not even going to try. But being able to go reference this artist song and listen to stuff like really helped me make sense of situations that I personally struggle with in a way where I could not find the words for it. So yeah, I
So
definitely think so. And then as a musician also to be able to take your feelings and put them down in a way, put it out there and have other people be like, "Me too." It's kind of mutually beneficial. It's like you see me, I see you. We're all in this sinking ship together.
absolutely. Um, so you are having a shitty day. What's a song that you're popping on to just make everything like a band-aid, to make everything somewhat simple, somewhat easy for 4.5 minutes, give or
Break
take?
Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
Wow.
Every single time. It's aggressive, it's stupid, it's fun, and I feel like it gets so many of those emotions out in just one song. And I always leave it feeling like in a better mood. You can't listen to that song and not be like, God, that's fun. And like kind of who cares? So I think that's my go-to. It's also fun fact my go-to karaoke songs.
So funny story about Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. One, Limp Bizkit was my very first concert. I went to '98
Jealous.
Family Values tour. It was Limp Bizkit, Korn, Rammstein, Ice Cube, Orgy. I was a huge Limp Bizkit fan in high school. They had Woodstock '99. My parents bought the pay per view of Woodstock.
Incredible.
For all the young kids watching watching Expired Optimism, if you want to watch something that wasn't on streaming service, they didn't have streaming service back then. You had to call your cable company and order over the phone. And I got to watch Woodstock '99 on TV. So years later, fast forward to today, we were watching the Woodstock '99 documentary on Netflix, and I was letting my son watch it. And it was during Limp Bizkit's set when they were playing Break Stuff, and when they got to that breakdown, the whole crowd is just fucking going insane. Um, Break Stuff is, yes, that is a go to like mental outlet
It's
song.
good. I also have to give an honorable mention to A Day to Remember's All I Want, because Keep Your Hopes Up High and Your Head Down Low has been my North Star since that song came out. It always just kind of grounds me and reels me back in. So I have to give a shout out to that song as well.
So let me ask you this. What is blank era outside of music? You live in Nashville, which is a heavily music influenced city,
Yeah.
mainly for the alt country, mainstream country. But what's it like being in that type of city with the music that
It's
you do?
It's great. And actually, I think Nashville now is much more of a rock city now than it ever has been. There's been like over the last couple of years, like a mass exodus from LA of, rock musicians coming here. And I think it's just becoming more of a music town in general, whereas like LA now is more influencers and actors and stuff like that. More just music in general is sort of piling here in Nashville. So I love it here so much because you are always surrounded by a million people who are just chasing dreams and being creative. So it kind of keeps you on your toes, and it's always just inspiring to wake up, go anywhere, and be in a position where you can always be creative. I love that. I've never had that in a city before. It was always, I lived in North Carolina for like 10 years, and like there was a scene there and I was happy to be a part of it. But, you talk to people at your day job and everyone's like, oh, well, you need to have a backup plan, blah, 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 blah. And they just didn't really get it. You'd come home from a tour and people are like, how was your little vacation? And, it was really condescending. And it's like, bro, if I came home from a vacation feeling this mentally burnt out and sore, then I screwed up. But here, everyone gets it and they're on the same page and they're excited for you. And it's just a different energy. And I love every second of it.
Yeah, because when people think of Nashville, first they think of like bridal party trips or like bachelorette parties.
And it is a
Uh
lot of that.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. And then they think of like, the country artists. Like I think Blake Shelton has a bar, Morgan
Yeah.
Wallen has a bar. Like
Everybody has a bar these days,
everybody
it
has a
feels
bar.
like.
You have the CMA award or
Mhm.
CMA fest or whatever. But there's music outside of that. I actually have an old high school friend that I think he lived in Nashville forever after we graduated. And he went up to as like just a songwriter. David Bourne. He plays like folk acoustic rock. But I think he's based out of Texas now. So like, not only is it just musicians and artists trying to make it, but there's also like songwriters out there.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah. Tons of songwriters. And it's so inspiring to be around a lot of them because you get to be in rooms with people, figure out how other people work. And it's like a master class in just improving your own craft. It's so freaking sick. And like you were saying, there's all the bars, all the drinking, all the, bridesmaids and bachelorette parties and this and that. But it's really just kind of centralized around Broadway, but like if you go over to Music Row, it's all songwriters and producers and artists and stuff like that. And then there's other areas of Nashville that are just kind of like chill family people that want nothing to do with any of that craziness. So it is also pretty easy to avoid because I don't go to Broadway really. It's too much for my little system. I get overwhelmed like immediately. You're walking, people bang into you. I will if people come into town, but I need like a full day to mentally like hype myself up for it, and then 3 to 5 business days after to just recharge my battery.
it's like where I live. I live close to New Orleans, and everybody's like, "Oh, let's
Yeah,
go to Bourbon Street." I'm like, Tony's not going to Bourbon Street.
yeah,
My anxiety can't handle that,
yeah,
just the huge crowds and all that, and the
yeah.
violence and the crime that comes with it. But
Yeah. And I'm
I
not
was
a
thinking,
hater either. It is
oh
super fun. Like if that's your thing, it is super fun. And if you're coming to Nashville for the first time, you should go do it and experience it. But like every day, numerous times a week when you live here, no, no, miss me. Miss me with that.
yeah, to each their own.
Exactly.
Um, I think there's. I want to say it's in Nashville. Or it might be outside of Nashville. There's a cool little music venue, and it's not like a building. The what is it? The caverns, not the caverns. It's like this underground music venue. Do you know about that?
I
It's
don't know about that, but I feel like
it
I'm going to
it
Google that right after this.
it's like a cavern or a cave, and they have concerts in there, and it's really cool. Like you have to check it out. Check out the videos of this place because like it is a music venue, and like you're inside a cave, and like the lighting and everything like is like, you know, ricocheting off like rocks. It's so freaking
That
cool.
is freaking crazy. Yeah, okay, I need to
Co-
do that. Adding that to the
Co-
bucket list.
yeah, Cope. One of my favorite emo bands, Copeland, played there I think a year or two ago, and like I so wanted to go, but like I couldn't get off work. But yeah, that's a venue up there that I have to go to. I like Nashville. I haven't been in a long time. If I go to Tennessee, it's Pigeon Forge or you
Yeah.
know, Memphis. But
I feel like I'm like the welcoming committee of Nashville now. If people tell me they're coming here, I'm like, you got to go to these restaurants. You have to go here. You have to go there. Like, I love it here. And this is like the first time I've ever lived in a town that I really love. So I'm absolutely insufferable about it.
well, see, you're not a native
No,
Nashvilleian, I would say.
no.
You know, but I can see how like the people that like live there like we hate the tours. But like you being from Jersey, living in North Carolina or South Carolina, you're like, hell yeah, just come, let's come
Yeah,
play.
I mean, stop moving here. We are full up, but come
Oh yeah.
visit.
So back to Rotted. Um then and now, like how much has the writing process changed? Because you know, like I said, there has been growth, but between Rotted and Yesterday's and Apology and the new song Sick of Feeling coming out, which I haven't heard yet. So for all y'all watching this, Sick of Feeling comes out on
May
Friday.
22nd.
This episode comes out on Monday. That song comes out on Friday.
Pre-save it.
Tell me about how it's changed for you, the writing process, the musicians that you brought in to just make your art come to life.
Yeah, so at first, like I said, when I did Rotted, I didn't have any game plan at all going into it. I didn't know what I wanted the music to sound like. I didn't really know what I wanted it to be. I didn't even know if I would make anything after it, really. I just needed to do something because I had all of these feelings and I just wanted to get them out there. Like I didn't want to promote it. I was too sad, too depressed. Just the darkest of days. So it was just kind of going in there and just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what stuck. Um, but these days, I have great bandmates now. I have Camden, I have Rob, who just kind of found their way into my life in a way that kind of felt like the universe just put them there as a way to say, you're ready to do this again. But now it's a lot more fun. I'm stoked writing songs to like have people in the room to bounce ideas off of and all of that kind of stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. And I think that that kind of shows in the songs. You can definitely get a little bit more of, the seriousness, but also mixed with a lot more fun and more joy. And I think the songs are born out of a place of just, doing what's best for the song. And it doesn't hurt that I have a more clear cut vision of what I want everything to be because I care again. So,
Well, as we get older, things change in our lives. I totally get the whole. I'm kind of getting burnt out of this. Kind of want to just take because in 2008, I decided I'm going to stop playing music. And it was
yeah.
mainly just being burnt out of touring, going out on the road, only making like $50 a show. Album sales started dropping mainly because streaming started getting more popular. And then in 2008, like the economy really wasn't good. So people were like, we're not going to be spending some of our disposable income on like shows and CDs and merchandise. And like it got to the point where like I'm 20, 24 years old, you know, can I see myself doing this for another 20 years? And I just got to a low point where like I'm done with this. And then it's like I never picked it back up. I have a notebook probably this thick of like lyrics that I wrote from my early 20s. I'm like, I wonder if I could just pick it back up and just record music, which right now it seems like recording is so much easier than it was back in the early 2000s. Like back then, like you'd have to pay like, you know, $50 an hour, but like now they got like apps and, programs that you can download for free and like make your own music online.
Yeah. Where there's
Uh,
a will, there's a way.
but y'all set a goal out for yourself um, that y'all wanted to write, record a song in the month of May. May? Was it month of May or
It
was it
was
the month of
April.
April?
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
for April Fools, I think it would be funny to like challenge myself to just do all the things, because like writing, it gets to a point where you create a song and then it goes into a queue behind all of the other songs that you've worked out, and then it comes out 6 months to a year or sometimes even more later, and by the time you get to it, you're already bored of it and stoked about the next thing that you've just written. So I thought it would be fun to just release a song while the excitement is still like fresh and new. And so that's what I wanted to do. And technically, I did it. We kind of pulled it off. We had it all done. We were ready to upload it. And then a thing that I can't say yet happened. And it was like, well, you have to push it back a month. And I'm like,
Okay.
I don't want to do that because I don't want to come on the internet and call myself a liar and tell everyone that I flopped at my own goal. But for this specific thing, you got me, girl. Like, I'll do it.
Yeah. So
So,
is that Sick of Feeling?
yes.
And that
Yeah, we
comes out May
literally wrote Sick of
22nd.
Feeling at the beginning of April. And not only did we write and record that song, but because we were in our overachieving era, we also
Mm-hmm.
did like a stripped version of it too that is going to come out I think a couple of
Okay.
weeks later. So two for the price of one. I think that's like
So
the bonus for not putting it out in April, is that we'll give you two versions of the same song in May.
yeah, yeah, y'all have actually come out with like song after song after song after song, like over
Yeah.
the past like 4 months. Like I feel like it was just like yesterday when Yesterdays came out, and then the next thing you know, Apologies coming out, and then y'all had that. I'm horrible with
No,
song
you're
names,
good.
but then y'all did that collab song.
Yep.
Not with who? Citizen.
With Citizen
Uh,
Soldier, and forever grateful for them. That has been in the works for a long time. Even before, I've been friends with them for a long time, and
mm-hmm.
before Blank Era was even a real thing, I just kind of told them that I was thinking about doing a new project, and Jake, the singer, was like, "Well, I think what you're doing is really brave, and I would love to, help you out. Maybe we could do a collab sometime." Our fan base has always really wanted a song about borderline personality disorder, and you got that. So
It's me.
what a perfect choice. And I was honestly kind of hesitant about it at first because I hold a lot of shame around that, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't sure if doing a song like that and opening up about that and kind of painting myself as that right off the bat was what I wanted to do. But I have a rule that if something scares me, that I should probably do it anyway, and so I did.
Yeah, just rip that band-aid off. Just fuck
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
But yeah, like I said, like y'all came out song after song after song. What I do feel like a lot of bands have problems with, and it could be a financial problem. It could be just them over, you know, pushing their songs. But I do feel like, especially when people have like a short attention span, that
Mhm.
if they've heard of one song being pushed for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, eventually they're like, I'm getting burnt out of this song. So
100%.
just stay on that train, and just like, you like this? Well, boom, here's another song. And here's another song. So are we going to say that Sick of Feeling is going to be the song of the summer?
I'm saying that I'm manifesting that for myself. I mean, I listen to that song like it is not my own. I listen to it like in a Day to Remember song, which is kind of this song, like sonically, is kind of a love letter to them. It feels very a Day to Remember coded to me. It feels like Have Faith in Me's sister. Um, just because I love that band so much and they've inspired me so much in every single way, that I'm like, I've never really done a song that like felt like a tribute to them for, helping me get here and helping me keep my head on straight. So now felt like the moment, and there's no band that makes me feel more summer vibes than A Day to Remember. So
Well, if it's going to be the song of the summer, knowing Blank Era, it's going to be the song of a month and a half before we get something else.
you never know,
I'm
honestly, but
I'm looking forward to that. But tell me about this trip that y'all took to Las Vegas. Y'all went to Las Vegas to record the music video of Yesterday's. Tell me how that came to be.
so when I yesterday's kind of sprung out of nowhere. I was just at a point where I was working on new music and I didn't really know like what the plan for any of it was. I didn't, all the pieces weren't really in place yet, but I was getting like bored and frustrated, feeling like my life was stuck in gridlock. So I'm like, a big advocate for making your own luck. And so I was like, you know what? I shouldn't be posting about this song, but I'm just going to leak a little snippet of it just to make myself feel good because I don't know what else to post. And I'm so tired of posting all the depressing shit from Rotted because I'm starting to like feel a little better.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to keep being, I'm tired
Things
of,
change.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm going to just release a snippet of this. And 15 seconds of it, like, kind of blew up, at least for like me. And my we were like, you know what? Maybe we should like kind of build off of this momentum. And I'm like, we're not really playing shows right now because we don't really have a set list that's big enough to
Hmm.
really hold that. We don't have a touring vehicle. We don't have live gear. All of that is so expensive. But I kind of wanted to
Absolutely.
showcase like the performance aspect. So I'm like, maybe we should do a music video and just kind of go all in. So there's at least some kind of visual representation of the band out there. And I get a chance to just kind of dance around and be dumb and kind of scratch that itch a little bit. So
You
our
get to get
drummer,
you get to leave the living room and actually.
yeah, get off of the coffee table in my bedroom. Like but our drummer lives in Vegas. So we thought that maybe going out there would be easier so we don't have to figure out renting a drum kit in Nashville or, figuring how to drive his shit all the way out here. And I'll get out of town. I love a good adventure. So me and Candon flew out there to do the music video real quick, literally flew into town, got there the night before, filmed the music video, and went home the very next day. So everyone was like, did you do anything fun? No, not at all. I filmed a music video, I had some tacos, and I went home.
So didn't even
But
get
it
a
was
chance to go
so much fun.
venture out. It was like we're here to do this, and then we're going back to Nashville.
Yeah, pretty
And
much. It was
that's so freaking rock star. That's so rock star. Like we're here just to do this.
literally
Um,
just this. I never
the
felt cooler.
the music video came out great. The effects and everything. It was awesome.
Shout out to Jonathan and Brian for making that happen. I was so annoying. I knew that I wanted it to be like a black and white video because that felt very like on the nose blank era, like an uncolored in coloring book, just black and white. Here is it, purgatory. And then all the little flashes of the lime green kind of felt like green lights and, permission to start moving forward and breaking out of that. So I was so annoying about it because they were like, oh, it might look better in color. And I'm like, don't care. No.
Well,
But
hey,
I feel like normally I would be the person that's like, well, whatever you guys think is best. So this was my chance to really kind of like stand on business and be like, no, this is my vision. This is what I want to do. Let's just figure it out. And it
well,
felt
hey,
good.
look, are we cool? Can we let them see yet the music video for yesterday's?
Show it off.
All right, this is yesterday's but blank era. So, anyways, that was yesterday's but blank era. Go find it on streaming services. I know you're on Spotify because I follow you
Yep.
on Spotify. I have most of your music in playlists on Spotify. But are there other places they can find
Oh,
your
yeah.
music?
Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora, YouTube Music. Actually, our YouTube Music has been screwed up for a while, but I got that remedied, so you can find it now. Everywhere. Like, we're just whoring ourselves out on all of the streaming platforms.
Go find blank era
Check it
on
out. They
streaming
got
services
you.
and put that on every playlist.
Annoy your
Now,
friends and your enemies with it.
push it to everybody. Now, back to y'all spontaneous like ideas because I fucking love it that whenever you have an idea you just run with it, and that's why I like the whole we're gonna write a song, we're gonna record it, and we're gonna put it out in this amount of time.
Yeah.
It came out with Apology, which is a phenomenal song. Love that song.
Thank
And
you.
it seemed like y'all had so much fun making the music video for yesterday's that you're like, you know what, we're gonna do it again.
Why not?
So tell me about the process with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, just in general, I am an agent of chaos and I am all about doing things that is wrong. So, everybody is following kind of like the same things. And there's like, if you want to be a successful band, this is what you need to be doing. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. It feels boring. So, I always just try to be like, oh, so we should give people X amount of time to pre-save. I don't want to. I'm just going to drop it randomly and just see what happens. Who cares? So Apology everybody was in town, and we were like, we should get some like TikTok clips or whatever, just like film the chorus or something and whatever. And it felt unnatural to just film one section of a song. So we're
Mm-hmm.
like, well, let's just film the whole thing and then I'll break it up into clips. And then we were kind of watching it back and are like, we could literally just edit this together as a full scale thing. So the last one, we put every dollar in our bank accounts to make happen. This one, totally free. I'm like, we used a room that we had access to. We filmed it on an iPhone. We edited together with CapCut and a Dream and just $0 budget. And I think that was sometimes like the
I
most fun way to do things. Like I
I
I think sometimes when you spend too much money, it ends up being like a big nothing burger. And there's so much creativity and like sprinkles of personal touch in just doing shit yourself and getting your hands dirty. And I also wanted to prove that you don't need money to make things happen. You can literally do it yourself. We have technology. We have so much at our disposal in 2026. You just have to go for it. And if it's not as polished as, all these big bands out there, I mean, it's not supposed to be. Nobody's expecting that. And I think people are getting so tired of seeing all of this big budget whatever
mm-hmm.
that, kind of just presenting something different and authentic just feels better to me. And that's who I'm setting things out to do. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to. I had a good time and I love it. And at the end of the day, I can go to
That's
sleep
all.
at night knowing that.
That's all that matters. You know,
100%.
I do believe like the next, not next generation. I do believe like we're gonna start seeing bands do more of that DIY, more raw,
Yeah.
authentic. Because with AI being as big as it is right now, I think you're gonna start seeing bands and artists making more raw recordings, have like imperfections in their songs
Yeah.
because it's to the point where like you'll hear some music and you're like, is that like
You
real?
can't tell the
And
difference.
being being a music related niche content creator, I constantly have bands sending me their music and be like, hey, can you promote this song for me? And I listen to it, I'm like instantly in like the first 15 seconds, like this AI, not doing it,
100%.
not
Yeah.
doing it. So when you talk about, doing a music video like that and just doing it raw like that, and making it seem too polished, too overproduced, to where like watching it, yeah, y'all made that video, and it's more personal that y'all did it because you could easily make a video, a music video with just like the lyrics,
Yeah.
but like,
And we do that too. And like that stuff's great. And like there's
mm-hmm,
absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I do think that like you said, because there's so much AI being like ingrained in our culture right now, that I think people are dying to see things that are more human. And the only way you can do that is by literally doing it yourself. I tell people all the time that I was really inspired by the story of Jonathan Davis from Korn, saying that they created the iconic Korn logo by him just taking a crayon or a pen or whatever it was in his non-dominant hand and just sketching it out and being like, there you go. And I'm like, that's genius. No overthinking. No, we need to do, literally
so
just make shit happen.
So when you had everyone in town and y'all made the video, that's when we actually made that collaboration video.
Yeah.
So backstory on that collab video, you contacted me because I had asked you about it, and I know people get busy. You were like, "Hey, here's what I got," and I was in the parking lot of my son's school waiting for him to get done with one of his clubs, and I'm like, they sent me this. I have to get this done right now. And
You were
like
so fast about it. I was
with
not prepared for that. It was
with
amazing.
within like, so I did all the recordings of what I was gonna do. And then while I'm driving home and I'm on the interstate, I have my son helping me. I'm cropping everything, I'm adding stuff. And I got that collab video done like in 15 minutes while
Yeah.
driving on the interstate in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I posted it on TikTok, and I've had people that are like, that's so freaking awesome. I love that. And that's something that I would like to do more is like help other bands. So let me ask you this. Blank Era can go on their dream tour. It's you and two other acts. What is the dream tour that you would like to go on?
I have an immediate answer. One, it's a day to remember. I say this in every interview that I've ever done since like 2009 because I am actively manifesting being able to sing if it means a lot to you with them just one time. I will cry my way through it and be terrible, but I want that so bad. Also, they are just my favorite band in the world. I will talk about them to the ends of the earth. Biggest fangirl. Um, and then also, I would pick Bring Me the Horizon because, again, just a massive fan of their career. I love it. A Day to Remember does this too. It's just like they just don't care about what people think of the style of music they're doing. Like A Day to Remember started mixing hardcore and pop punk, and people were like, can't do that, gotta pick one. They said, yes, we can. And they blew up and they're still relevant, 20 years later, and their sound has evolved and they don't care. They're making music that they love. And that's very true of Bring Me the Horizon too. Every album they put out, you have no idea what it's going to sound like because Ollie does not care what you think. He is just doing what feels good to him. And so that has always inspired me. And I just saw their concert the other night. Best concert I've ever been to in my life. I cried. I laughed. I was angry at how good a band could be live and how insane that production was and just the storytelling throughout all of it. I was like maybe I should just hang it up, but also was wildly inspired. So I think those two bands for sure would be the sickest tour of my life, and I would probably pass away before it happens.
I like how now they bring out the basketball goal and they throw all the basketballs out in the crowd whenever they play
Yeah,
LeBron. Um,
dude, they do the thing too where they tell people to surf on top of another person, and
oh yeah,
I love
I've
that
seen
about
that.
their
Yeah,
band. Like they
yeah.
do things to kind of bridge the gap between artist and audience, and that is something that I love to do too. And if God forbid this keeps growing, I would like to incorporate more of throughout my own personal career. I'm just super inspired by that.
Well, I have a dream blank era tour, and it's kind of
Okay, bring it
similar.
on me.
It's I will say A Day to Remember
Perfect.
headlining,
Absolutely.
and the direct support band Black Veil Brides. I don't
Let's
know.
go.
I
I'm
think
so down for that.
blank era Black Veil Brides and A Day to Remember with certain cities having Sleep Theory pop up for a show or two.
I'm down for that too. I think
Why
they're
not?
great. I
Um,
actually saw
no,
him in the wild once. I didn't say anything because I'm always too nervous and like afraid that I'm going to be annoying to people. But it's like a zoo where I'm like, oh, that's so and so from insert band here. And then I just like do a little, human zoomy dance and then move on. I never want to bother people. But that's another crazy thing about Nashville is like you just see artists everywhere. You go to a
oh,
concert and
absolutely.
you'll be like, oh my God, like at the A Day to Remember show, I saw Hardy, I saw Brandon Saller, I saw all sorts of people. And I'm like, oh, we're all just chilling here.
You have like I think Haley Williams lives in
Oh yeah,
Nashville.
she's doing side quests here all the time and never at a show that I'm at, which pisses me off.
And talk about Haley Williams. One of my biggest gripe for the past like year is that every tour announcement, especially for 2026, every band that I like that has had a 2026 tour announcement, Louisiana, not so much. But they'll play 4 or 5 dates
Yeah,
in Texas.
true
But
that.
Haley Williams just announced her like second leg of her tour, and she's playing in New Orleans. And I'm like,
Do it,
and
do
it's like
it.
right, and it's like right after my birthday. So
Oh, so the stars are aligned. She was just here in Nashville and I did not get tickets to it because I'm like a person like I have to get tickets the day of because I just don't know what life looks like or I don't know if I can afford it. So I'm very last minute. But I definitely watched all of the videos. She's one of my top three performers of all time. There is not a stage she steps on that hasn't been totally demolished.
give me five, not including them, five inspirational bands, artists, musicians, not including A Day to Remember, Paramore, Haley Williams, five bands, and create blank era out of them. Give me five bands.
I think a lot of them aren't even necessarily bands. I think a lot of them are just like artists that I grew up like already kind of emulating. I would put No Doubt on that list because I grew up wanting to be Gwen Stefani so badly. Like she was one of the first female artists that I saw that was tough but also didn't sacrifice any of her femininity to, because I always felt people were like, oh, well, if you're a girl in a band, you have to be tough or this and that, because otherwise it's like, insert slur here. That's absolutely ridiculous. But Gwen Stefani never did any of that. And I was wildly inspired by that. Like her doing the push ups on stage and making all the
Mm-hmm.
boys say, I'm just a girl. Peak, absolutely peak. And I loved that. So Gwen Stefani, and no doubt, is absolutely one of my biggest influences performance wise. This one might get me some hate, but I absolutely do not care. And it is Britney Spears circa early 2000s. I'm a Britney stan, but like when she did the Slave for You performance with the snake on MTV, I talk about that's like my Roman Empire. I talk about it all the time. I'm like, because I remember growing up in real time, she debuted that song. Nobody had ever heard it. She did the most wild performance as like the most gorgeous human being with like the most insane body of all time, wild production. And she was 19 years old. And I
Mm-hmm.
cannot even imagine having that kind of star power as a 19-year-old girl. Like, what?
She's actually from down here.
Kentwood, something, Louisiana.
They grew up like an hour away from where I live. So
Insane. Yeah, she was one of my like hyper fixation pop stars when I was like a young child growing up. I obsessed, and like to this day obsessed with her. Um so then also I have to throw in Shirley Manson from Garbage. She just has like an effortlessly cool vibe about her. Like I
most
love,
definitely.
so good, so good. Again, another artist that was also highly feminine, but also just so sick. So love to her. A more recent, these two other ones are very recent. I love Doja Cat down.
Okay, that's random.
Insane performer. She is an insane performer. Like I said, just outside of genre, I think she can do it all. She did a rock performance of one of her songs on an award show, and I'm like, what balls to just completely step outside of what you know and like headbang and just be an absolutely wild woman on
She
stage.
was she was she was just in her blank era.
She did it. And that's my queen. And then last but not least is an artist that is kind of popping off right now. Her name is Slater. Uh, Slayyyter. I've been a fan of her since 2020. I discovered her during the pandemic. And then she just put out a new album like maybe a month or so ago and performed at Coachella recently. And everybody's starting to like get the vibe. They're starting to catch on, and I'm so proud of her. Like I don't know her at all, but I'm so proud of her because she's like one of those artists that is like, I've been on the up and coming, next big thing list for 10 years. Like, what are we doing? But she's an amazing performer, and I really love that she does kind of like electro pop, but then she also introduces like screams and growls and is bringing that to the mainstream, which I think is absolutely iconic. Like to see pop music fans be like, I live for her growl. I'm like, they're making metal mainstream. She's doing it.
Yes. Yeah,
So I
that
love
that
her.
that is not what I expected. I'm
Yeah.
good with it. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I fully support that list.
I have influences from everywhere. I love rock music. It's my genre. I will always be a rock girly to my core. But I think
Mm-hmm.
what, makes you different is pulling from all kinds of influences outside of that so that you can bring something new and infuse your personality and your interests into it.
Now let me ask you this, because the first episode of Expired Optimism was with Skip on Jail from Final Essay. Their song "Wasting Away" is actually the song that he used for this podcast. But one of the questions I asked him was about making content, because now like a way to promote your music is that you have to get your phone out, you have to come up with some idea to promote your music. It's not like back in the day you just throw flyers all over the place, you tell
Yeah,
people about music. Now you have to have social media presence in a very saturated, heavily saturated, market.
very much.
Tell me how you feel about having to make content, and do you feel like it makes it out to be too much of a gimmick, or does it take away from the actual music? Because when I make content for just anything, but like when you making content, it's for your artwork. So like
Yeah.
having to make, scripted content and then have to bring that in. How do you feel about that being the way that you get your music pushed to an audience that's probably never heard of Blank Era?
I think that it's all about mindset and how you approach it. I mean, when I first started doing social media, it was very much like music in general. I was like, okay, well, what do people want to see? What are the things that are trending right now so that I can replicate that? And, when it didn't pop off or it didn't get any views, I'm like, well, this sucks. Like, boo, I hate making content. Why am I wasting my time doing this so that nobody can see it? But I kind of get a lot of influence from like nostalgia and
Mm-hmm.
like all that kind of stuff. So I think back to like if I was 16 or 13 years old as a kid and I had TikTok, what kind of content would I make? And so I think back and I'm like, well, I used to just put on concerts in my bedroom for like my Barbies and stuffed
Mm-hmm.
animals and stuff. So I'm like, and I had so much fun doing that I'm like, what if I just do that now as like an old lady?
I,
And so
I
that's
got, I
what
got,
I do.
I
I
got one
just,
question for this. Please tell me you don't live on the second floor. Please tell me you don't live on the second floor.
I do.
Because if so, your downstairs neighbor hates you so
I am the
much.
final boss of upstairs neighbors, but fun fact, she loves me. Um,
Okay.
she does love me. She got me a Christmas present for my dog, and we chit chat all the time. So
Aw.
I think that like I think when I'm over here doing the most, she's in like another
Mm-hmm.
room over here, and it doesn't really bother her. Because I
I was
have
like,
asked her before. I was like, "Do you hear nonsense happening upstairs?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "If I'm ever bothering you,
please,
please
please
let me
just tell me.
know."
Yeah, please.
I was
I'm
like, "Because I
upstairs.
was like,
I'm
I'm
upstairs making TikTok videos.
yeah, I'm literally being so extra." And I'm like, "I will stop or pick better times of the day." But it hasn't been a problem. But yeah, I literally just make little dancey videos in my bedroom because I feel like that's what I would have done back then. And it kind of helps me reconnect with my inner child or whatever you want to call it. But now I have fun doing it. If I find myself making content and I'm like hating it, I just stop. And then I, switch it up and do something else that makes me feel better about it, whether that's like doing something in the car or here or on a table or just making a video where I'm like, I'm just going to yap real quick because I don't know what else to do and I don't feel like, spinning around and being sweaty. So,
Yeah, there's been many times where I've been burnt out, especially with the algorithm and the analytics. If you want a big fu, just look at the analytics and like you think you're your biggest critic, your analytics are your worst nightmare. So do you go back to Jersey or you're anchored down in Asheville?
I stay here pretty often, but I go home a couple of times a year, usually around the holidays. So my mom and my brother live up there still, and all my aunts, uncles, cousins primarily still live in Jersey. So I do like to go home and see them. And it always kind of like helps me like reconnect with, that version of myself and kind of step out of, you know, the blank drag for a minute
Mm-hmm.
and just, because nobody calls me by any of the names that people know me as. It's like my government name, which shall not be. It's because, like, yeah, because some people will start to call me that, and I'm like, I don't like that. I'm like, these people grew up with me. They named me this. They're allowed to say my government name, but
When I started making content on TikTok in 2020, 2021, I went on there and blocked everyone I knew. If I know you personally, you're blocked on TikTok. And I did it with the best intentions. There's no ill will. I just don't want you seeing my lip syncing video to, a Taylor Swift song.
that is so real. That is absolutely so real because the only people in real life that I wouldn't block were people that were also making content because then we could just be in the trenches together and like hype each
Absolutely.
other up. But if I knew you in real life and you don't make content, you are blocked as hell. There is nothing more embarrassing than watching somebody perceive you in real time.
Oh yes.
Oh no. Like there was a time where like a friend of mine was watching one of my videos in front of me and he made fun of the way that I said a word and I was like, I'm never posting again because that's all I can think about. He's like, why did you go stupid? And I'm like, I didn't say it like that, but now I can't say that word ever again. Thank you.
So I was at the gym about a couple of months ago and this guy was like, "Hey, I've seen you on TikTok." And I'm like, "No, no, you didn't." But
Yeah.
this podcast, um, I have two niche on TikTok. It's music and nostalgia vibes, but like I wanted to do a lot more than that. Like I wanted to like talk about stuff that but you can't really do content with it because it interferes with what you normally post.
For
So I
sure.
made this podcast, and like the first episode, I had the singer of a band. It was like, okay, so it's a music related podcast. And then the second episode, I had an antique and art dealer. Like, whoa, what's this? I'm like, yeah, I can't do content with that. So I post this on Spotify and YouTube, and I can't really do what I do on TikTok, as in like blocking people. Well, I'm
Yeah.
at work last week, and everybody's like, "Hey, you got a podcast? I saw you on YouTube." I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
No.
And I'm like, well,
Nightmare.
"Okay, cat's out of the bag. Cat's out of
Yeah.
the bag." So,
Hate
blank
it.
era. I'm gonna put all your links below. So if you're watching,
Please do.
click the little descriptions. It's gonna say see more. Click see more. It's gonna be down there. Blank era socials right here. Um, I'm gonna add everything in the description below. So if you're watching this, go ahead and check out all of Blank Air material. Go on add on TikTok, Instagram, check it out on all streaming services.
Peer pressure.
So hopefully you like this episode, and if you didn't, then you can write a strongly worded email to the HR department, and
And
I'm
you have bad
sure
taste.
and I'm sure they'll get back to you eventually when they get back from their year-long vacation. But Blank Era, Sick of Feeling, coming out May 22nd. Mark it on your calendar. I mean, you're watching this on your phone. Just go to your calendar, May 22nd.
Also, spoiler, I might have a way that you can listen to it early if you really care.
This episode comes out on the 18th. So if you're good, and if you agree that this song will be the song of the summer, if you can just automatically just say it is without listening
Yes.
to it.
Blind.
Thank you for joining me on this episode.
Thank you. This has been so much fun. I could yap forever.
I tried really hard not to fanboy because you're one of my favorite followers on social media, and I'm really
Back at
happy that you came on Expired Optimism. So anyways, thank you. And like I said, everybody click the description below, add her on everything, add music on every single playlist. Go ahead and listen to Blank Era. So peace.